Are we ready, Christian?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Kathy, are you ready? Okay.
This is she gave me last night.
Give me 1 minute. Mr. Reggie Hills, whenever I call, would you mind leading us in a prayer? Okay. All right. I now call the regular city council meeting to order May 19th, 2026, 5:30 p.m. Kathy, please give me a roll call.
Councilman Taylor.
Here.
Councilwoman Broussard is absent. Councilman Broussard.
Here.
Councilman Clavel.
Here.
Here. Mayor, you have quorum.
Having a quorum present, I will ask everyone to stand for the prayer and the pledge. First, the prayer led by Reggie Hills, Officer Reggie Hills, Marshall, Deputy Marshall Reggie Hills. Also. I should just ask you to sing the national anthem. No.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our council. We thank you for our mayor. We thank you for all the officials that are here today. We just ask that every decision that is made today to continue moving the city of Abbeville forward, that it would be blessed and ordained by your hands. We give you the praise, the glory, and all the honor because it all belongs to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
You're called on the right one.
Yes, you
And the pledge, I would like to call on newly elected Neil Richard, councilman. He will be councilman District 8 to lead us in the pledge. Neil, would you mind joining us up here at the front and leading us in the pledge?
Put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Reggie. Okay, before we start the meeting, for those, I see some new faces in the audience, so we have a little bit of housekeeping rules I want to go over. We ask any presentation to be limited to 7 minutes. That's just to keep the meeting rolling. We ask anyone with public comments for any item on the agenda to come to the front, state your name for the record, and limit your comment to 3 minutes. We are live streaming these meetings as we are required to do so by law. The camera is right here in the front and it does pan. So if you want to make a comment, we're going to ask you to come up here, stand in the front, state your name. Let the record reflect that Councilwoman Terry Broussard is joining us for the meeting. Thank you. Welcome, Councilwoman. Once your 3 minutes are up, we ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes, and it's not a back and forth. Also a reminder about live streaming that we need you to stay quiet in the back of the audience. It's not to be mean. One is we are supposed to keep order, but two, it's because it's very hard for the audio. If you're talking, the camera is very sensitive and it picks it up. So it's hard for people to hear online if we have talking in the audience. If you do talk, I will grab the gavel and ask you to stay in order. So just be aware of that. After your item of business is covered, you are welcome to leave if you so choose to. We ask that you do so quietly and not disruptively. And you can leave out this door to the left, but it will lock behind you. So if you want to re-enter, you'll have to enter through the lobby, which is to my right. So that is it for housekeeping right now. Are there any public comments on any agenda items before we move forward with personnel? Any public comments right now? Hearing none, moving on. Personnel, item number 1, to ratify the appointment of fire department personnel, Chief Doris Mulvaney. Chief Doris, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have one new hire for consideration this evening. That would be our 6th person, bringing us back up to our 35 personnel minimum number, our new standard. So he is Mr. Britt Stair. He is from Youngsville.
Mr. Stair, can you stand up and take the stairs over here? That was a joke. No,
Thank you.
okay. So, Mr. Stair, this is for the ratification of your hiring to the fire department. You have you're not currently certified, correct?
No, ma'am.
Right, okay. And, council, did you get a copy of the application to review? Do y'all have any questions for Mr. Stair at this time?
I have one.
Okay.
On page 2, the first question.
Yes, sir.
You circle, yes. I don't want you to say anything that, that might affect your job application. But within the past 5 years, have you been terminated or resigned in lieu of termination from any position for reasons other than a reduction in force? And you circle, yes.
Councilman, if you look down at the block, it gives the explanation so that he doesn't have to state it on the record.
I can't read the writing. It's too bad. So, right here, explanation, but I can't.
Honorable discharge from the military, Councilman.
Well, yeah, was that a termination or you served your time?
It's termination. It's a general under honorable discharge.
You served how many years, if you don't mind me asking?
3.5.
3.5. And you got a general discharge?
Yes.
Okay, now, that is usually other than an honorable discharge, because I'm a military man myself. And like I said, you don't have to explain to me why you got a general discharge, but I was just concerned about that because most people who serve in the military does well, they usually get an honorable discharge.
Yes.
So I'm going to move it forward.
Chief, do you have anything to say on that?
I can get with you with his specific reasoning. He was questioned about it during his interview. And have a conversation about it, like we've done previously.
But it is you and your AC's review of that answer that still lends for the recommendation to hire.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, Councilman Campbell, is that anything else you have for the chief right now? Do you want to table it, or you want to see if somebody wants to offer a motion?
Well, I'd like to see what the chief thinks about it. I know y'all had a discussion and you weren't in on the discussion, but your recommendation stands?
Correct. It was myself, two of the assistant chiefs who conducted his interview, and our recommendation is for his hire.
Well, I move that we accept the chief's recommendation.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the recommendation or ratify the decision. Any other questions or comments? No? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations.
And thank you. Get back down. Okay, presentations. Item number 1, Judge Rick Putnam to bring awareness to the lack of facilities available that violators can be placed. Councilman Brady Broussard Jr. sponsored this item for the agenda.
That's a lot of words. Okay, so look, is this where I need to be right here? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. Thank you guys for hearing me. I appreciate it. Look, and I'm sort of in the top of consciousness. I get a call the other day from the PD. There's a citizen who is at the hospital that the hospital has been eminently patient with, who is sitting there. They need her to go. Can't get her to go. They end up calling the chief, and his people go over there, and they are eminently patient. She doesn't want to go. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to put their hands on her. Obviously, there's, so they call me. What do we do with her? I mean, what do I do with her? I don't know. She's probably technically broken a law. Probably. She's probably entering or remaining after being forbidden. But I don't think anybody's asking me to take her and put her in a cell because she's got no place to go when she leaves Abbeville General. She's at Abbeville General because it's safe. And listen, I would venture to say, and I don't know if you guys know this. I mean, it's not, I walk at night, early morning. Right? I'm out there all the time. And so my brain's as clear as it gets then. And I see them. I talk to them. They're there. And by they, I mean people who don't have any place better to be than on the street. All right. So we see in city court a lot of times entering or remaining after being forbidden over and over and over again, the same people. And they are generally, and I'm not talking about everybody, but generally these guys or girls are in a place where they feel safe. And they got no other place to feel safe. The streets aren't necessarily safe at night. I'm not saying they're crazy. I'm just saying that they are in a situation that is not optimal. Again, where? I mean, we got to have some place for these people. These are citizens. They are struggling, and we need a place for them to be safe. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be nice. It doesn't have to. It just has to be safe. And I know we got empty buildings, and I know there are buildings for sale, and I know that I understand budgetary constraints. But in the long run, we need to hit this thing from the front end rather than the back end. These people are not committing the kind of crime that requires jail, although some of them are happy to go because they're eating and they're sleeping. And so that's the first issue. And that's really all I want to say. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take a genius, but we got to do something. In my opinion, we have to do something, particularly if we're talking about cleaning up Abbeville, making it look the way. These people cannot be made to live on the street. I mean, they can't be made to sleep in the square. There's got to be a better way. Okay.
So Judge, I want to just interject for 1
Yes.
second. We have a Hope to Home program that we put in place just here in the last few months. You know as well as I do, because like you, I take time out my day and stop when I see someone that's on the street and go try to figure out if we can connect them to resources, right? So we do have some shelters available in Lafayette, in New Iberia. There is a new home available for men and women just outside of, I think the men's is just outside the city limits of Abbeville. The women's is over, I don't want to give specifics because usually they're running from protection, right? There are facilities. It's been my experience often that it takes a lot of time and effort. I mean, I've sat in the square and talked to a homeless woman it probably took me 45 minutes to an hour. It took me half a day to convince her and go find her a bed at Wood Lake and get them to come get her and connect her to the resources. But it's also in my experience that very often when we take the time with these individuals, they don't want to go anywhere, right? Even if we offer them the resources. I think, like you, I want to see us have a better solution for these individuals. You know as well as I do, if it's mental illness, which a lot of times it is, the law does not support us. And we worked together with a young man, I'm not going to give the details about getting him released and trying to get him to services to help the family. The laws do not support, is it not true that the laws do not support us? They need to make the decision for themselves, and often they're not in the mental state to make that decision, right?
That's true. So what I've done in the past, and I haven't done it with people who are in trouble from a purely homeless standpoint. However, I give Wood Lake as much business as I can. So when people come before, and I'm not talking about domestic abuse, I'm not talking about DW, I'm not talking about anything particularly serious that I do over there. But if it's something where, so now I got a little leverage, right? Not much, but a little leverage. With that leverage, what I've done over the years is said, listen, and you'd be surprised at how many people make noise about rehab. And as soon as they do, then that's what we're going to do. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's put all this stuff on the back burner. Let's see if we can get you a place at Wood Lake. If you make it, then we'll come back and revisit whether these charges need to go forward or don't. And that's going to be between you and the city prosecutor. But all the information will be out. So that leverage gives me that. And people go. Sometimes they flunk out. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes I talked to Mr. Gotro the other day about one who's about to quote unquote graduate, and seeing about trying to get him a place to work because he's willing. With the homeless, it's different. But what we do have, and the city's calling about it all the time, is remaining after being forbidden. Technically, that's a criminal offense. I got a little leverage. And the leverage can be, listen, let us take you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to take any medicine. You can. You don't take any medicine. You don't have to see anybody. You don't have to talk to anybody. You just got to sleep and eat there. That's it. You can't be out all night. You just got to be there. So again, it's about leverage. I got a little bit. It's not much. Sometimes I make it sound like it's more than I got. Sometimes my voice. But anyway, those are my thoughts.
So where is there? You said.
I don't know, but you've got these. If I have access to these places,
You do.
I need to know how to get them there, who they need to talk to, and I need to know that there's a spot.
So we have had some success in my office. Rainey's not here tonight, my assistant, but we have had some success with connecting people, depending on the circumstances, to the right resource where they have a bed. And that's exactly the conversation I have with them is it's not, I can't let you sleep here at night. It's not safe, whether it is or not, it's not right to let them sleep. So, here's your choices, right? I don't want to press criminal charges. We have a place that you can go, but you have to be willing to go. And I had this conversation with some of the churches in our community recently that, being the mayor is an incredibly time-consuming job, and it's really hard when I have to take half a day to do that. I'll do it because I believe that they're human and we need to help them. But we have so many churches. We need some of these other organizations to step up and help us with the outreach with the homeless in the community and help us do that bridge between government and resources. And I think we need a creative solution. I don't know that we're going to find it right here. I don't want it to just be us. I'm going to allow some other questions and answers, but I do have a list of resources that is available. Christian and Rainey can put you in touch with that, and we'll see if we can get more success that way.
All right. And
Are you going to?
Councilman Broussard and I have been talking about this off and on, and we're going to keep talking about it. And what maybe we can do is when the dust settles, is sit down with some of those religious leaders and hammer it out. Not what we could do, but what we're going to do. And if we could just sit down there and hammer it out, and everybody stays there until we get it done, then maybe we can get something. I mean, we're not talking about 1,000 people. I mean, we're talking about a handful of people who are the same, and they're in danger.
Well, there needs to be a caseworker or a mentor who sticks with one person, right? That really is where
Ideally, sure.
the communities that I have visited and discussed who have had success, it's because they have a group that is that task force that makes connection with the person and follows them along the way to make sure that they are successful, or when they're struggling, they have someone they're familiar with. And that's the part that I think is the nonprofit connectivity that we're missing between the court system, government, and yes, it's a noble cause that needs to happen. And hopefully maybe some of the church organizations, or one or two of the church organizations, we have some in every district, maybe they can adopt their district and help us.
Yeah, if everybody jumped in, it wouldn't be much from any one entity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Many hands makes the light work, I think someone once said.
Whenever you guys have those meetings with the different churches, please include me.
Absolutely. The more the merrier, and especially from the council.
Are you going to touch on the situation
Yes.
with us no longer having the
Yes.
Iberia? Okay, go
That's my
ahead.
next thing.
Good.
We need a jail. That's it. That's all I got. We need a jail. I'm telling you, listen, we need.
Misdemeanor crimes unchecked.
I'm gonna
usually
be
become
in,
felony.
I'm gonna be in a, well, again, that's for Baton Rouge. If you can get that done, get it done. But, and some of them are. But the reality is that that's not the case. And we've got people who are terrorizing some of the local merchants. And it is almost, they've almost got to hire somebody part-time for this particular problem. And so, again, I don't want to get into the causes, because the causes are separate, but what's happening is that there are people here, and we at this point have been able to take them off the street for a minute, let them cool their jets, and give people a breather based on the violation of some, theft. We're going to lose that, and that word's going to travel like that.
Mm-hmm.
So for those, I don't even know that the council is aware of this yet. It's not a great idea to advertise that we don't have a place to put you.
It won't take long, Ross.
The crime, but we did receive notification from the New Iberia sheriff that, Sheriff of New Iberia, that he will no longer be taking any of our misdemeanor criminals. We were holding 5 beds year round for misdemeanor crimes, but they're too disruptive for jail. And
That is a
so
true story.
That's true. We have seen where they have called chief to go pick up misdemeanor criminals because they're disruptive. I never knew that you could be that
Is a true story.
that you could be kicked out of jail for bad behavior is beyond my comprehension. But it is not, it is a factual thing, and we did receive a letter from the sheriff, that I think is it July, do you remember, Chief, is it
June, I
June
think.
30th?
June 30th is our last day.
Yeah, so that's the other reason why this is an urgent issue.
It is urgent.
We have no place to Lafayette. It has I think New Iberia's facilities, 400 something beds. Vermilion Parish only takes felonies. They only have about 120, 150, I don't remember. Acadia does not have a room. Lafayette does not have a room,
So
correct?
that's what, I think the chief talked to most of those guys.
I've talked to all the ones the mayor mentioned, but I also, I have them on the list to call St. Martin Parish. They have a large facility. I will also call St. Landry Parish
Okay.
and try to make the same deal, for the same amount of beds.
But he's still got to run his offices back and forth. Not that, I mean, that's a smaller concern, but that's further afield.
Yeah, it's just that much more time my guys won't be able to patrol. They'll be running back and forth, St. Landry Parish or St. Martin Parish.
And
But I'd still rather have the jail.
And I know, I currently chair the Vermilion Parish Criminal Court Committee, which is where we talk about a lot of these issues. I know that y'all weren't there the last time we did talk about this in that meeting, but what I also don't recall, were you there when Kip Judice gave his talk about what he's doing with the juveniles and recidivism?
Yes, but,
You weren't.
Listen, I was there for that. But
I
that's
know
not
it's
what I'm,
juvenile.
yeah.
it's a first offender thing and it's for juveniles.
And all
But
fine.
the more we can catch them early.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, go pull the transcript between me and the
Hey,
police.
well, this is much better than that. Yeah, it's much better, what he's doing, so.
And Judge, I assure you, we will keep discussing it.
Yeah.
We'll rally the troops of the churches.
Well, I appreciate that. And as for the jail, look, I mean, I'm just giving everybody a fair warning, and I'm gonna make everybody mad. But at some point, if I can't get this thing settled, I'm gonna come back here and ask somebody to open the jail at the old jail. I mean, I don't know, listen, at the very least, we need to get, listen, what I use that jail for more than anything else is people who haven't been in court for years. So I hold them until we can get them done, get the cases off the docket, get them get them out of the court system. Sometimes they don't come back, and generally they don't, because we haven't seen them in 5 years. So,
And how many?
They say you hold it, but where do you hold it?
well, we've been holding them in the Iberia, but we're gonna lose that, we're gonna lose that.
Running out of time. We only got 1 month left in New Iberia, right?
6 weeks, yes, sir.
And then another thing, some of the pastors that I talk to about helping these homeless people, they're afraid of liability. That's all
Well,
they tell me.
I understand. I don't know, I don't want to have a religious discussion, but I don't know
Well,
about God and
maybe
liability.
we shouldn't give donations to churches that don't want to help with the homeless. issue.
Well, and listen, that's a whole other conversation for us in a room where somebody like me can say, I don't know if God cares about liability. That's another conversation at another time that I'm happy to have off somebody's record. But that's not the necessary, at
Smart
this
judge.
point, yeah, well, that's not true. But anyway, thank you all very much. I appreciate it.
All right, I don't know that anybody in this room feels better about that, after
There-
that discussion.
there's
Does
nothing-
anybody have questions or comments? I will try to limit the discussion, but we welcome questions or comments about this. My mother, stand and state your name for the record. I can't give you special treatment.
Arlene Colleen.
Oh, no, I got to go. I don't have time.
You said that these are misdemeanor crimes that are happening. What is the number one misdemeanor crime that's happening that's
Oh,
causing this?
theft.
Theft.
Yeah.
Just simple theft.
Going into somebody's place of business and trying to walk out, well, not trying, walking out with something.
Go to any grocery store and talk to any manager of a grocery store and ask them how much money they are losing in a month on grocery carts that people are taking home, at the cost per grocery cart that it costs them to buy those grocery carts, that people are taking them home to bring their groceries home and not bringing them back. And then also by putting the food in their pants and then go and sell it on the street corner for profit, right? I get, every time I go to a grocery store, I get that complaint from the manager of the grocery store, the amount of money they're losing with these kinds of thefts in the stores right now. It's
Yeah, that's
hard.
definitely.
It's
It's
another reason why businesses fail in Abbeville, because of crime like that.
Now that is one of the crimes that is enhanceable, and we do enhance them, and we do see some turnover, but there's always a flow of people getting back in line to have it enhanced.
And Judge, some of the people that you're talking about, you didn't call their names, but they don't want to go to a facility. They'd rather
No question.
walk the
Correct.
street.
Yeah.
And that's what I was telling Ross. I got a little bit, at some point, I have a little bit of leverage. As long as I got a jail, I got a little bit of leverage. And so I have a little bit of leverage to say, listen, this is where we are. I could fine you, which
Is it money?
worthless.
I can collect.
Or I can put you in jail for continuously breaking these laws. Or you can go sleep somewhere where it's cool and warm and food and, you're safe. I mean, that's, other than that, you're right. I mean, we can't kidnap them. We can't string them up and put them in a closet, but, or in a healthy place. We can't put them anywhere. But I do have this much, leverage at some point. And if I can use it at that point, then I would like to be able to use it at that point.
And I know that in this one instance that I'm thinking of with this young man that was sleeping here like maybe there was a warrant and we were gonna try to use the warrant to pick him up
We
and
did.
hold him, but chief and them had already ran the warrant. So I think better communication on that
Well,
level.
and
when
again,
there's a
listen, I can
situation.
always, we got warrants. That's a rare situation. Usually I got a warrant. We have not exhausted the warrant. The warrant is still out there. It's still good. And we do that all the time. Use that to grab somebody
Right.
who's not necessarily doing anything right now, but they got a warrant that, and
Only way you can force
before it
them
gets
to
bad,
on
yeah.
treatment.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's it. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Rick.
Thank you
Judge.
guys. See y'all later.
All right, that's it. We went a little over 7 minutes on that one, but since he's a judge, I better not hammer him too much.
Hey, listen, I'm good.
Item number 2, Ms. Claire Morton of the Maine Council on Aging to discuss the programs and services. Ms. Claire, yes.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are
Hey,
you?
guys, good evening. I'm bringing Lori Delott, who's our new board president, and she prepared some remarks, but she's also going to speak from the heart. I've been the executive director for a little over a year at Vermillion Council on Aging. Love every day, love every minute of it. And Lori is a dynamic leader, and we're so grateful to have a great working group as our board. And I'm going to stand here if there's any questions after, but she does want to speak with the council.
Mayor,
and the
council, thank you
public.
guys for having us. Like Claire said, I am the board president, in the position for about 9 months now. I have been working with seniors in our community for over 20 years. And so seniors hold a special place in my heart. Again, thank you for the support for the Maine Council on Aging. Again, I have some reading, but I'm gonna speak with my heart. So, we thank you for our services throughout Vermillion Parish. We're proud to operate from our Graceland Avenue location for a decade now. We've been there for over a decade. For many years, this facility has provided critical services, programs, and support for our senior citizens, and we remain committed to the mission that we have for our senior citizens of Vermillion Parish. Who are we and what do we do? Some people may not know what the council does. The Council on Aging does. We serve seniors 60 years and older through programs that help them remain healthy, independent, and connected to the community. What are some of these things that we do? We have home delivered meals, congregate meals. We deliver meals to our seniors' homes. We have senior centers where the seniors of Vermillion Parish can come and have a meal for either free or donate $1.50 for that meal. We support in-home services. So we provide caregivers to provide respite care to some of our senior citizens in the community. Maybe families going on vacation and they need some assistance in the home to care for their loved one while they're going on vacation, etc. Wellness and social activities. We just started a new wellness program of a fitness coordinator inside that works for the Council on Aging that provides exercise classes in Kaplan, Erath, and Abbeville. And that's growing. Social activities, bingo, games, crochet. If you want to learn how to knit or crochet, I suggest that you come because we have a great class.
Line dancing.
Line dancing, yeah. And guidance and resources, listening to Judge here, that's what I do for a living. I find resources for our seniors. We help our seniors just find what they need in the community. The council may not be able to figure it out, but somebody, within the community can, that's for sure. Most people don't realize how the Council on Aging is funded. For every service that we provide, for every meal that we deliver, for every meal they eat, for every activity program, we get an allotted amount of money from the Government of Elderly Affairs, or GOEA. Okay, and so we are a nonprofit, but we run every penny in and every penny out. Okay, to be able to hire the staff, to be able to care for them. We are currently in a growth and transportation expansion right now. So when Ms. Claire came in about a year ago, we were subject from Cajun Area on Aging that we needed to get our transportation department back up and running. So we are currently in a capital campaign to raise about $100,000 to purchase a van to be able to take our seniors to and from doctor's appointments, grocery stores, to the senior center to be able to get a free meal. And so, like I said, we are currently in that campaign right now. That van will have a wheelchair accessible ramp, safety lifts, seating for seniors and disabled riders. This service will begin hopefully in the third quarter of 2026. So we're taking a loan out of, and purchasing this van. It'll be ready in September. And so hopefully our services will begin in the third quarter of 2026. Mainly why we're here today is to really talk about our request for a long-term lease. So a year ago, our lease was changed to a year lease with a contract of a 30-day eviction notice. We plan to continue for the future, and we want a long-term stability growth in that building in the on Graceland Avenue. We can't plan for future events. We can't plan for expansion programs with knowing that we only have a year contract in this building. We are committed to remaining in this building for the foreseeable future, and we hope to continue to build a strong relationship with the city. People may not know, but the city owns the building that we are currently in, and we have a contract with them. So really, that's kind of what we're here for, is for you guys to renegotiate that. So let's talk about that. Like I said, we are money in and money out. We just had to put $10,000 on a new air conditioner. And so it's hard for us to know that we have to fork up that money to have cool air for our seniors, but we could be evicted in the next year.
So I'll let the city attorney cover the, go ahead.
Yeah, so the original lease they had expired a little over a year ago. And the mayor and I discussed it, and she was exploring some ideas of maybe a different location. So that's why they were given just a 1-year lease with a 1-year option.
And there was a discussion about that at that time, that, easy to extend, but we didn't want to tie into a 10-year lease or a 5-year lease at that location, because perhaps we would find a better location, more centrally located in the city for where we could do some expansion of services, correct? Right. But I don't.
In no way was it.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't have a place now. It was just, we don't know if this is the best place.
Well, I think our whole point today was that, we just had to fork out this money that we really don't have for the air conditioner, and to know that in a year or so, we could be evicted from the building.
But there's also something about that site that so many people associated with the senior center.
Right.
And it's really a gemstone in the community. A lot of our seniors, there's senior housing close by, so they don't have that far to go to come to us. And it is a small space, that we're all of our offices are full, but those things can be managed. Everyone identifies with it, and so far it's met our needs, and we're there, and it represents something in the community, and people look to it as a safe place, a place to go where they're going to be looked after compassionately. It's in Mr. Plaisance district.
And I think a year ago is about was it a year ago when you started, Ms. Claire?
February 17th of last year.
Yeah, so that's all kind of occurred at the same time, if I recall correctly. Yeah, so if your request is, can we extend it beyond? That's really a question for the council. Normally, these things are done, we negotiate it,
we just wanted to
the council. But
we just want people to know who we are and what we do.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem for them to extend your lease.
I think that you're such an important part of our community, and people in that area, I've been here all my life, people are happy there.
Mm-hmm.
The seniors are happy there, and it's kind of one of these things where I've always felt like if it's not broken, don't fix it. I think that it's a good location for them, and I personally would like to see us have an extended lease program there, not something that'll be year by year. In the previous administration, we had that kind of open-ended kind of thing, I think, up for it. We didn't have a set year lease.
No, everything's it's gotta have a term.
I think it was.
Yeah, it could be
was
long,
10
not
year
long
lease.
term. And it was, I mean, I think the last
Yeah.
one was 10 maybe, you know.
Yeah, but we
5 to
both
10.
weren't there, so we don't know.
Right.
I served on the board for 12 years,
Okay.
and it was a 10-year
It was a 10-year
lease.
lease. Yeah, and I think, honestly, that's where we are. That's the money we would have taken a loan out to pay for the unit.
Yeah,
And that's like
I
our
don't think
biggest
it's a
thing.
problem.
No, it's not.
It
It
was
just never
really
came
just
back
the
to us.
idea of,
Yeah.
is there a better fit somewhere?
Yeah.
Is there a better location?
And in the future, that may be something, that would be, if all signs point to yes, that would be great. But right now, it's our happy home. And we like to, decorate for every holiday, and the seniors enjoy that, and we have parties for them. And we're getting ready for Flag Day, and we'll leave it up for July 4th.
You say you deal with people from 16 years old up?
60.
No,
60.
60. I was about to say,
Not high school seniors.
60.
You're welcome to come.
One time when I went out there, I mean, I've been out there many times, but there used to be a bunch of vans there. We were like, what happened to the vans that were there?
The vans, St. Mary Transit operates that. The
Okay.
vans that were inoperable, St. Mary owned, and they disposed of them. They sold them. They're not
They were
there.
not ours.
Whatever vans are there now, St. Mary Transit, they do cross parish transportation. We're going to do a 20-mile radius around Abbeville.
Okay.
And our van will seat 8 people plus 1 wheelchair, but we can do multiple runs in a day. So
And have you looked into, I think it's called the 520 Transportation Funds through
for
DOT?
us, it would be a 5120.
Uh-huh.
And that's for the elderly and disabled. Right now, LADOTD gives St. Mary the
That
other
money.
designation.
Okay.
They're open to the general public. We would just be for seniors that are 60 and older and the disabled.
Do you plan to apply for the?
Yes, but we
5120
have to
funds?
function for a year, and they
Okay.
have to come and inspect us and monitor our program, and then there's a grant application.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna move that we
Yeah.
have a 10-year lease. I'm gonna make that motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Motion, well, can we do that if it wasn't on the agenda? I don't think we can take action. We can put it on the agenda next
Let's see
time,
on the agenda.
or, because it's only in the
Yeah,
presentation.
it's not under business. It's under.
It's in the presentation.
We just wanted to
We
come
will
and
commit to the
introduce.
next agenda, putting that motion on there for discussion and action, and I imagine we won't have much discussion, and the city attorney can draft it up so that you have a copy of it to look at. We'll put it on the next.
That's perfectly fine. We really just wanted to.
Yeah, we just really just
introduce
wanted to-
Lori and let you guys know, things are thriving. We're very happy. We have a crochet group and a sewing group that are run by clients. And we got sewing machines donated. And if you follow us on social media, you can see all of the amazing projects that people are creating. So
So I'm sure you might have covered this, and I might have missed it. How many current residents are you serving?
well, you have to think that the number of people that are in the parish, the whole
Yeah.
parish, I don't know Abbeville how many we're serving, but in the whole parish, it has to be close to 4,000.
I mean, how many clients are you seeing on a regular basis, on a weekly basis?
Oh,
So it's not
between 7 and 30,
Okay,
depending on the day, 7, 8, 9, 10.
In the building.
yeah,
In-
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, I've been there when you're
Yeah.
doing lunch.
Yeah.
and Games and activities.
And we're trying to diversify the activities that we're doing. We're trying to, draw in new people. People are coming in, hey, I want to sign up. Hey, I want to sign up. I saw you doing line dancing. I saw you're going to do chair yoga. I want that. So we're trying all sorts of new things for them.
Thank you all for the work you're doing in the community. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
And we
Thank you for
appreciate
your
it.
time.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
We'll address that on the next meeting, Mayor.
It'll be under items of business.
Yeah,
So you can take
That's why we
action.
could bring it up.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they have to be presented.
Okay.
Okay, thank you all. Have a good day.
Thank y'all so much.
All right, that's it for presentations. Approval of bills and budget reports. Item number 1, to ratify bills paid in the month of April 2026. Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, to approve the April 2026 budget action report.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions, comments?
Compliments to Kathy for that great report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. New business, item number 1, appeal hearing pursuant to section 442 of the ordinances to determine if dog owned by Melva Dubois is a dangerous dog. The property address is 1619 Prairie. Ms. Melva Dubois, our representative, are you in the audience? Okay. Let me have the city attorney cover what this is about first, and then we'll call you up for comments if you're okay with that. She can wait for a second. Hold on one second. Let him give them a little background before you walk up. I don't want you to have to.
Ms. Garrow's present, she's gonna help. So there was some report issued to the police and, regarding this dog, and obviously, once they investigate it, it gets turned over to Ms. Garrow for her to do an investigation. She's put together a report. My understanding, her recommendation was to have this dog declared a dangerous dog because its actions, some of its actions fit the definition in our ordinances for dangerous dogs. We have dangerous dog, vicious dog, various things. When I spoke with with the owner of the dog, Miss Melva, I think she was under the impression that we were seeking to put the dog down, which is not the case. But I'll let Ms. Darrow discuss her investigation and some of the things the dog did. What we're here for today is because she recommended that the dog be declared a dangerous dog. The owners refused that, so I sent her a notice of this hearing before the council because it'll be up to the council to determine whether or not to declare the dog a dangerous dog, and if so, then she's entitled to keep the dog. However, she must comply with our ordinances for dangerous dogs, which are a little steeper than just a normal dog. So, Ms. Garrow, if you want to give them a background on the dog and what your investigation uncovered.
Okay, first of all, I know of Miss Milva. I've spoken to her in the past, and I know that at some time in her life, she's rescued animals. So we had that in common. Maybe a year ago, we received a few phone calls about her husky whose name is Zeke. It wasn't anything serious, but we call our animal control people out. They look for Zeke. If they found Zeke, they bring Zeke back to Miss Melva. Well, I don't know what has happened with Zeke in the last few months, but the police department has been notified on numerous occasions. Chief Hardy contacted me on April 16th and asked for my help. We've received numerous phone calls as well in the last few months about Zeke. It seems that Zeke has been getting out of the fence. I think Miss Melva lets him out in her fenced-in area, and Zeke is finding a way out of the fence. And he goes in the neighborhood, and he is a dog. Some dogs don't like cats. It's a dog-cat thing, but he's actually killing the cats. So, Chief Hardy asked for me to please help. I asked him to please give me all the assignment sheets that he could find so that I could review them. And I did. I'm only want to talk about those that were verified that people knew the dog was Zeke and saw Zeke actually kill a cat. There were other complaints, but I have no proof that it was Zeke. Actually, it was a white husky in that area. And so I want to just stick with the three that I know, that I have proof about. The first one is in December. I don't have the date because the person, Peggy Gospa, who knows Miss Melva, who knows Zeke, she saw Zeke running down the street, chasing a cat. The neighbor had some type of Christmas tree outside. The cat ran into the tree for safety. Zeke got the cat out. Zeke killed the cat. In January, he was in Taylor Moe's backyard, and he killed her cat, Alvin. She tried to protect her cat. The cat ran under her car. She tried opening her door to keep Zeke away from Alvin so that she could save her cat's life. In the process, her car door gets damaged. She has the cost of a new car door. In March of this year, while Officer John Meyer was waiting for our animal officers to arrive, he saw the husky out, and he was watching the husky until we arrived, so because it's often when we get to the scene, we can't find Zeke. Anyway, in front of him, Zeke killed the cat. So your ordinance says that it must be a domestic animal. In these cases, it was a domestic animal. So that is established. It was, your ordinance requires that it is 2 in a 36-month period. I have 3 in a 36-month period. I tried to speak to Miss Melva about it because I know Miss Melva and I know that she has the best intentions. It's not my recommendation, of course, it wouldn't be applicable if I followed your ordinance. I cannot recommend to you for the dog to be euthanized, nor is that my recommendation. But he is clearly a dangerous dog. He has met your requirements. When I tried to speak to Miss Melva about it, she minimized it by saying it's a dog-cat thing, and then raised her voice at me. And all of you know me, that was the end of the conversation as far as I was concerned. So then I contacted Mr. Broussard, said, I need your help. We can't continue this way. I told Chief Hardy what I was going to do. And I'm here now asking you, please, to declare this dog a dangerous dog. And I want to say that Ms. Melva is very lucky that it is before you and not the Vermilion Parish Police Jury, because their ordinance is not as lenient as yours. The dog would be euthanized.
Mark, that's your recommendation? Yeah, based on her recommendation, yeah. I'm asking the council to follow her recommendation.
Okay, and so.
I'll have Kristen pull up the definition.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But also the requirements of once the dog is declared, what the requirements are, which we're gonna make sure are very clear too. And we will allow you some time to comment also. Just give me 1 minute. But, do you have the list of what's required once it's declared?
Yeah, I discussed it with them already, and I'll make sure they have a copy of it.
So you don't, I'd like to state it on the record, or you're not prepared to state it?
It's quite lengthy.
Okay.
What is it?
The order that's presented to you, depending on the base, depending on how the council votes, establishes their compliance with section 4-44.
Where is that order provided to me?
Section
Oh, I got it now.
4-1.
So if it is declared a dangerous dog, oh, but this one doesn't state the, what's required, which is the concreting of the bottom of the fence. Yeah, I can't read that, I'm sorry.
I can.
So
But go down,
section 4-1 of our ordinances is definitions.
I'm trying.
And one of the definitions is dangerous dog. It says dangerous dog means any dog with blah, blah, blah. There's 4 different definitions that would qualify. For this particular case involving Zeke, it is number 3. Any dog which unprovoked on 2 separate occasions within a 36-month period has killed, seriously bitten, inflicted injury, or otherwise caused injury to a domestic animal off the property of the owner of the dog, which is what we have.
what I want to see is the requirements once it's declared, which,
That's 4-44.
now, Christian.
Oh, yeah, a long time.
Yeah, way too wordy. Right here, requirements, within 3 days of concurrence of the owner's supervisor's findings and the completion of the appeal process, which we're currently in the appeal process, correct? Or where a dog is declared to be dangerous, the person wishing to retain, which I'm assuming is your wish to retain your dog, keep your dog. We're gonna let you speak, but the animal must declare him or you must declare yourself the owner of the animal and register the dog with the city as a dangerous dog. Obtain the annual permit at a cost of $100 for a reproductively intact dog, or $50 if the dog has been sterilized. Must have a secure enclosure, which you have a fenced yard, as defined herein and must maintain the same conditions such that the animal cannot escape and must notify city of police of the dog's escape and or death and or permanent removal from the secure enclosure within 24 hours of the event. The city and or the designee shall have the authority from the time to time to reasonable hours to inspect the enclosure for compliance or at any time. I don't need to read the whole thing. The owner of the dog determined to be dangerous shall also post around the property where the secure enclosure is located, no more than 30 feet apart at each point of ingress, that the signs shall bear the words, beware of dog and dangerous dog. So if you already have a fence, you would need to post these signs to keep your dog. You would need to register the dog and keep up with the annual requirements of registration. When a dog has been declared to be dangerous, may not allow the animal to be outside or of the secured enclosure unless and except while being transported to the veterinarian procedure or as necessary for exercise. On such occasion, the animal must be under direct control as defined herein of a person of the age of 18 or and restrained on a leash not more than 4 feet in length and properly fitted with a muzzle, which prevents the animal from biting humans or animals. Must retain, hold on. May also retain possession if it certifies in writing that the animal is being removed to a location outside of the city, which is not your intention, I'm assuming, right? You want to keep it inside the city? Yes, okay. As an additional requirement, the owner shall be required to provide liability insurance of not less than $100,000 covering a tax for the dog and or in the absence thereof to post bond in said amount. That would be through your homeowner's insurance, I'm sure. I would think. I'm not an attorney or an insurance salesman. The owner at his cost must have a microchip identified and tagged and implanted. Is that done, Miss Debbie?
It hasn't been done yet. We do that.
Okay, so
We
it would
require
need
that.
to be tagged and implanted in the dog. And I thought in here it said that the fence had to have, I know it does, I probably missed it. The fence has to be concrete at the base so the dog can't tunnel out of it, right? I saw some pictures of the fence. It looks like there's some bricks at the bottom, but you're gonna need to have
We recently installed the electric.
Okay, but I don't know, we'll have to let the city attorney review that. I can't say that that will fill the requirement,
I
but,
think that's sufficient.
huh?
That might be sufficient.
Okay,
Mayor, may I say something?
yes, ma'am.
One of the requirements you and I talked about recently is the one to register, because you don't have anyone to do that. So they register with us once we have the microchip number. And we don't, and there's no cost.
And actually, our city ordinance says that every dog within 6 months, I know this is not followed, but the ordinance in the city books, if you go very back to the beginning of it, says within 6 months of moving into the city, all dogs must be vaccinated and registered with your office.
Right.
Right? Is that
Right, and
correct?
they are. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for, I
So
can't
in
say
this-
everyone.
So in this
Yeah.
case, the dog would need to be registered, vaccinated, microchipped, registered here at the city. You can determine whether the city and you need to be, or if that's, we'll figure that
Right,
part out.
right.
But that's the requirements for you to keep your dog. So in no way or shape or form are we saying put your dog down, but you need to meet those requirements if this council does in fact declare it a dangerous dog. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Would you like to come up and state your name for the record? Okay. Well, I don't want to, one of the family, are you okay with them speaking now?
Of
Debbie?
course.
Okay, well, one of the family members, whoever wants to be the spokesperson, come up and speak.
What I want to ask about is April. He didn't get out in April. Last was the one you told me.
Chief, are you familiar with this case at all?
Yes, ma'am. I don't have the exact dates, but the complaints were
Multiple
pretty
complaints
much
that
like
your
Ms. Darrell
officers
said,
will-
yes,
okay.
multiple.
All right.
The last time was Officer John Mayer.
Okay, so who from the family would like to come up and speak?
I could speak.
Okay, come up to the front. Come up to the front and please state your name for the record. And yes,
My name's Paul Fredericks, my mom.
Paul Frederick, okay. And you're speaking on her behalf because she didn't bring her hearing aids, but.
Right. She didn't bring her hearing aids. That's my sister Donna.
We got it. Okay, hi. Well,
I mean, it's just hard for me to imagine Zeke being declared a dangerous dog because he's such a gentle dog. And I mean, like she says, dogs and cats. It just doesn't sound right to me. And plus, we already installed a double electric fence to keep the dog from getting out. And the dog hasn't got out since. And we'll make sure if it does get out that she does contact who she's supposed to contact and all that. It's just the dog being declared a dangerous dog it doesn't sit right with us because I mean that's my mom's protection. I mean we just heard the judge talking about people on the streets and stuff and
I think the problem is not your mama having the dog at her house for protection. I encourage that. I think the problem is the dog not staying at the house and now causing.
that's what I'm saying. We installed electric fence.
I understand.
And she's already been fined $1,000. She can't afford all that, and she can't afford. She doesn't have insurance on her house. She can't even afford that. And I mean, if y'all declare it a dangerous dog, and how she's going on her.
And he's been to the vet. He's never been muzzled. He's been to the groomer. He's never been muzzled. My niece my niece has lived with us with 2 small children and no problems.
Listen, I understand that an animal is like an extension of your family, right? But we have an ordinance in place and I don't vote in this situation, right? This is the council's vote. They're gonna have to make the decision. We have to rely on Miss Debbie. That is her role within the community. And it's very, very rare that I can tell you in my 4 years on council, I've wanted to see cases up here that I thought should, and it's very rare that we do. So I have no doubt that she feels it's justified or else it would not be here in front of us. And the chief of police just stated on the record that his officers have witnessed this behavior multiple times. So I would like the city attorney to talk to the fact, but I think he already kind of has alluded to it, that I don't think there's any question it meets the definition of a dangerous dog, correct?
Correct.
And so it's the council's job then to, go ahead, lead them.
So normally what happens in this case, and Debbie had one recently where she went to the owner and it did require having to put the dog down, and the owners understood and agreed. Most of these cases, she approaches the owner and said, look, this is what we need to do. In this case, they didn't want to agree to declare the dog dangerous. That's why we put it up. It has to be council action, and based on our ordinance, I mean.
I think any mitigating circumstances may convince us that the dog should not be put down because
It's not going to be.
We're not asking to put the dog down. We're just asking to have it declared dangerous under the definition and our ordinances. That way they would be able to keep the dog, but only by complying with the requirements for
I've seen
maintaining
the term
it.
euthanized in here someplace, and I definitely.
The packet that I gave y'all was provided by the family, the owners of the dog. So I think Ms. Nova, in my discussion with her when she called my office, was misinformed and understood that this was about trying to put the dog down, which it's not. So, my advice to the council is, I don't know that you have much of a choice if we would ignore the facts of the case as presented by Ms. Garrow and not declare the dog a dangerous dog, then we would be ignoring our statute, which create problems for future enforcement.
And now you know that there's a liable situation that you refuse to address, correct?
Correct.
Right, now thereby transferring some of that liability to the city if we don't declare it and follow our own law. So, would you like to state anything else before? And if
She just won't be able to afford the homeowner's insurance. She can't. That's why she doesn't have it now. If y'all do that, then that's what she's. I mean, what happens if she doesn't get the insurance? I mean.
Do you know of any insurances that would just insure the dog?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
And I
Yes, Ms.
understand.
Debbie might. Ms. Debbie.
I have declared dogs dangerous in the past and worked with the dog owners. And so I did not have to come to the city council as I did this evening. And they have gotten insurance and it's not as expensive as you think. And you do not have a pit bull, you have a husky. So that's a whole different element in wrestling. From my own experience dealing with other dog owners.
So Debbie, can you, help them or, just?
I can
with
just tell
after the
them
meeting?
maybe
Yeah.
where the other people obtained their
Yeah,
insurance.
exactly. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so if the council declares dangerous dog, then you need, the next step for you guys is to work, get that information from Ms. Debbie and meet the requirements that we outlined in the ordinance. If you need a copy of the ordinance, I'm sure the city attorney or Ms. Debbie can provide that for you to make sure and just stay on top of it. And the chief of police, if he gets calls about Zeke again, it's your officer's job to make sure that all of the compliant, they're still in compliance.
They'll be checking all the compliance, yes.
Okay, any further discussion before we take a vote?
Yeah, you guys understand that we have an ordinance, and we have to enforce an ordinance sometimes. It may not be pleasant for us, but that's what we have for you.
Tell them I'll have an electric fence.
Hope you guys
I told her, Mama.
can have her understand that.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Has Zeke ever been picked up by police control and returned to Miss,
No,
he's never been picked up by previous control after being called?
Please stand and state your name for the record.
I'm Herb Toll,
Hi, Mr. Toll.
resident of Abbeville for the last 37 years. If the owner has a cell phone, get an air tag, $20. Put it on the dog collar. They know where the dog is at every minute of the day.
Thank you for your suggestion. Thank you for your suggestion. Did y'all understand what he just said?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Thank you.
Hearing none, I'm gonna call for a vote. Oh, I'm sorry, I need a motion. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second for that motion?
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any? Okay, Councilman Plaisance just asked for a roll call vote, so we're gonna redo it as a roll call vote. We will start with District A, Councilman Hardy.
Yes.
Councilman Plaisance. Councilman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilwoman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilman Campbell.
Yes.
That's unanimous. The dog's been declared dangerous. Please review with Miss Debbie and or city attorney and tax and permit if you need, and they'll help walk you through the process so that you get compliant. Okay, if you'd like to leave, you're welcome to do so. Item number 2. I'll give them just a minute. Thank you. Okay, council, I'm gonna, just me?
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All right, we're gonna move on. Item number 2, to accept the recommendation from the May 12th, 2026 Abbeville Planning Commission meeting to approve a variance of the rear setback requirements for Lot 2B for the partition of Lot 2 belonging to John Van Nguyen. That's a 1406 South State Street.
Second.
Okay, is Kim in the audience? Oh, sorry. Kim, how are you?
Just to give you a brief history, Lot 2 spans from South State Street to Jefferson Street, and there are 3 residents on it, as the plat shows. The proposed division is set along an existing fence that separates the house from the 2 mobile homes in the back, and it's been there for a period of time. And so when we reviewed it, the only thing we really saw was that the rear setback of the mobile home is closer than your ordinance says at 10 feet. So we recommended the ordinance, the variance to the planning to process the division of the park. So that was our recommendation.
And is it family that owns?
It is family that owns the whole lot
the
2
whole plot.
currently. And it will be divided. Lot 2A will get sold and Lot 2B will stay in the family. The Planning and Zoning Commission's in agreement with this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. We have a motion and a second.
Second. All right. Motion and a second. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, to accept the recommendation from the May 12, 2026 Abbeville Planning Commission meeting to approve the plat showing the property boundary survey and partition of portion lot 2 belonging to John Van Nguyen into lots 2A and 2B situated in a Riscott Broussard subdivision, 1406 South State Street and 1409 South Jefferson.
Move. Second.
Motion and a second. Kim?
This is the approval of the plat, after you pass the variance, to officially divide the lot into 2A and 2B.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Item number 4, to authorize the mayor to execute all necessary documents pertaining to the 2026 AARP Community Challenge Grant.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? This is, I can't go into a lot of detail, but this is one Christian took on herself, and it is for some crosswalk signs, for some existing crosswalks. That's all we're allowed to say right now until they make an official announcement of an award. But you'll get more details of that in the near future.
Next month.
Next month, okay. All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Christian, for being proactive and searching for that and writing the grants. And congratulations on your first successful grant award. All right, number 5, to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement with Darrell Davis to support project graduation 2026 and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
Second.
Motion and a second. Council, we actually made a donation as a sponsor, really. We sponsored project graduation because I know that this council, as well as the public, often say we need more for the youth to do. So when they called us about project graduation, I said we should go ahead and sponsor it. And so we did. And what we did is pay for the facility rental for the facility where they had project graduation for Abbeville High. So that's what this motion and second is for. Any questions or comments? The amount was $500. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 6, to award the engineering services contract for Chris Cresta Memorial Airport projects to Sellers and Associates Incorporated. Requests for qualification statements were received on April 20th, 2026.
Move. Second.
Motion and a second. Questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, to award the contract for purchase of the digger derrick coal truck for the electrical department to the apparent low bidder Custom Trucks at a price of $274,100.
Move.
Second.
Motion and a second. We budgeted $250 for this, is what we thought it was going to cost when we did the budget last year. We intend to pay it from sales tax. It's a long needed thing, and we want to have it before hurricane season. So thank you for the motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, to ratify payment of the invoice in the amount of $30,103.85 payable to Subsurface Solutions LLC to run the camera on the sewer and stormwater for 2 streets that will be resurfaced. Motion and a second. Chris Gotro, you want to cover this at all?
Yeah, the reason this cost is so excessive, than what it normally is, the sewer on Washington Street, we're gonna have a big repair to do on that street. It was bricks, gravel, 2x4s, whatever you could name, was in that sewer line. And Old Kaplan was just as bad. Storm drains, a lot of stuff in the storm drains. So we were able to run the camera and identify our problems ahead of the resurfacing of these streets.
As you know, council, this is the same thing that we did when we did the downtown streets. It's the same thing we did when we did Graceland. It has been my policy as mayor that before we resurface a road, we need to know what the bones look like underneath it. So we're not digging, not surfacing a road and then something caving in right after it. This particular street, this actually, we cambered both Old Capitol Highway and Washington. Washington has the most problems. That's what Chris just referred to. But we do have some money in the road fund for these street repairs, but we want to make sure that the subsurface infrastructure is in good shape before we overlay and fix them. And that's why the recommendation's there.
And, Todd's, engineers are reviewing all of the video footage to figure out where all the repairs are gonna need to be done. But for sure, we have those on Washington Street, right behind the school board office.
I would imagine we have them on almost every street.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. And that's right there where our, lift station's at. So, that line is probably affecting our lift station a little bit too. So,
Okay, I have a motion and a second on that, Kathy. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, to provide an update to clean the aeration basin number 1 at the wastewater treatment plant and to possibly consider incurring additional necessary expenses to complete the cleaning. Chris Dotra, you have the floor again. The gift
Sure.
keeps on giving.
Yeah. So, thanks to the mayor, she's allowed us over the past 4 years to start cleaning out our aeration basins at the sewer plant. We did the first one, which was basin number 4, about a year and a half ago. Was 125,000 gallons that we hauled out of there, of sludge and water and rotor blades from the previous years that had fallen in there. So when we bid this job in aeration basin number 1, we bid it based off of kind of what we saw in the other one, because you can't tell what's in those basins until you have to take the basin out of service, drain the water. Well, when we drained this one, it was really bad. If the basin's 12 foot deep, we might have 8 foot of just sludge buildup in it, because in the past 30 years or 35 years, it's never been cleaned out. And that is your capacity of the sewer plant.
Lack of maintenance costs you 10 times more.
Right. So what we're looking at here is, we've already almost met our 125,000 gallons of what the original bid was. And we're gonna probably go a lot more than that. So, I can't tell you how much, because you have to break it up. We're using water from another basin to try to break it up so that the pump truck can suck it up and haul it off, because it has to be disposed of. You can't just go open the valve on the side of the road. I'm sure y'all know that, you know? I mean, I wish we could, but you can't. So it has to be disposed of. So you're being charged by the gallon to dispose of it. There's a lot of manual labor that's fixing to go on inside the basins. If we get a big rain, we may have to put it back into service, and we may not be able to finish the job. I mean, the goal is to finish the job. So what I'm really asking for, is an open checkbook. Yeah, it's an open checkbook to say, hey, finish the job. I cannot give you an idea of how much it's going to cost to finish the job. And listen, you have 2 more. You have 2 more to do. So I would advise that you start preparing with your maybe ad valorem tax to dedicate that to clean these basins.
That's what I'm gonna be 30 or 35 years. So
we have
we collect ad valorem property tax. About 80,000 of that a year goes into a pot that we use normally for sewer projects, right? That's what it's kind of earmarked for. We have a little over 80,000 because we didn't extend it all last year. So it's my recommendation that we first pay it out ad valorem, max that out, and then whatever the additional cost is would come from the utility fund most likely. We do have the money for it. We can cover the expense. We have a problem with water, I&E getting into the plant. It needs to happen. This will allow for not more capacity, but it will allow the plant to operate the capacity it's intended to operate at, because it won't have have more room for water. We'll take all the SH exclamation point T out of the basin bin.
right?
I'm old, Mayor.
I said, yeah, and it will be, I know I'm not gonna be the mayor after July 1st, but it's my recommendation that this council continue to dedicate that ad valorem tax until we get these basins cleared out. We have, like he said, 2 more to go after this. And then I think y'all should put that on a 5-year rotation, that every 5 years you clean one out and then it costs you, it go from 100 and something to maybe 40, 50,000. So you could do 2 a year with ad valorem. But waiting this long with all the stuff, every time somebody washes a car and throws a rag in the drain or, you know, all of that stuff, that's what's in the bottom of those basins along with the other kind of debris that goes out. We walked it when they drained it out. I went up there and walked it with them, and it's unbelievable the stuff that's in the bottom of that basin and how long it's been that it hasn't been cleaned out.
Right. You need a motion for us to continue using ad valorem?
We don't, that's actually, that would have to probably be a resolution as a question for the city attorney. We'll bring that back later, or that, you know, the mayor sets the budget every year, so the next mayor will have to set that budget, but, we can have a discussion with board about whether or not it's appropriate to bring a resolution dedicating it over the next 2 years. I don't know the answer to that question.
So what we need now is a motion for me to be able to
We have the
continue.
motion in the
Oh, we
second,
have one.
but to give you the checkbook for this one.
Thank you. Yeah, all right. You gonna sign this first?
This really needs, we need to finish this one, so.
Yeah, and I really hope in the future, we don't neglect that 30, 35 years. That's a long time to have that go unattended and to be in the mess that we're in now.
Just like Washington Street, that's been there for 50 years.
Well, you know, there's a problem on Lafayette in Washington when it has a heavy rain. The manhole wants to start to, well, we thinking now that it's cambered and we cambered all the way that it's that line that goes to the lift station.
And the other area that we cameraed was Old Caplan Highway, because it's gonna get resurfaced, because every time it rains there's a manhole that the surface comes up right next to Councilman Plaisance church. And didn't we find a lot of problems?
There's some
with that?
problems down on that end. We actually already sealed one of the manholes. So there's a trailer park down there that's a constant dump site. And it's,
Illegal dumping.
yeah, it's out of the city limits. So the police jury comes and they pick it up in the ditch or whatever. And, somehow the manhole top was missing during the camera job. So when it rains, all of that, it floods right there. So all the water gets in our sewer. So we've fixed one of those problems.
Causes a huge drainage problem.
Yeah.
What needs to happen is they need to set up a camera. I've seen the owner of the trailer park with, chief, I asked your department to do this years ago and it never happened. The owner of the trailer park goes with his excavator and he goes take all the trash from his that should be in extra bins there, and he takes it with a forklift and he puts it right in front of the storm drain, and he puts it right there to the no dumping sign. And I asked years ago for y'all to put a camera up and fine him because it's gross littering and it's a $1,000 violation, and he does it on a weekly basis, and it causes drainage problems to the entire west side of the city.
Yeah.
So it could be solved with enforcement. I promise you, a couple of times you hit him with that, you can eventually put him in jail.
And you know, it's really not the police jury's fault that they maybe grabbed the manhole top or the top of the manhole because there's so much trash in the ditch. You know, they can't see it. They grab it and they're trying to get the trash out the ditch. So,
Unacceptable.
yep.
All right?
Thanks.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. 10, right? Yeah. Item number 10, to approve the renewal of insurance for the fire department at an annual premium of $113,900 and $113,910 from VFIS effective 6/7/2026. The expiring premium was $108,500. Chief, anything? This is just an annual
Correct. We
business.
did do some deductible increases to help cushion what the increase will be. This is the number that was provided. It's tough to get insurance in the market we're in, especially in emergency services. So this covers our fire stations and our vehicles, portable equipment. We were also able to lower it as we realized the double coverage that we had for some cyber liability coverage. The city was paying for this also. So that was removed from the policy, which was a slight savings, but this is the bottom line we came
Thank you for your, okay, have a motion? Second. Motion and second. Chief, thank you for your work on that. Any other questions or comments?
And Chief, next year when that comes around, let's sit down with the insurance committee and things that you worked on this year. We can look at deductibles. We can look at ways to soften the blow of that and see if there's any overlap with all the policies that the insurance committee handles, including for the fire department. So we'll visit when that next renewal comes in next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 11, did we vote on that? Motion and a second? Yeah, the motion there. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10 is authorize the mayor to, 11, thank you, whoever corrected me. To authorize the mayor to execute the engineering agreement with Sellers and Associates pertaining to street improvements project. Motion and second. Any questions or comments? This is for the streets that we went over earlier. Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, to authorize the mayor to execute amendment number 3 to the engineering agreement with Sellers and Associates Incorporated for fiscal year 2021 LCDBG sewer system rehab project with the increases the residential project representative fees by $16,500. Motion and a second. This is the project. This is the gift that keeps on giving. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, discussion and possible action. Perfect timing. You must have been listening in the lobby, huh? Discussion and possible action to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Vermillion Parish Police Jury pertaining to the documents to transfer title for the property located at 200 North Magdalene Square and 407 Charity Street. Second. I have a motion and a second, and I have, I did ask the sheriff's office as well as the marshal's office if they wanted to say, and the chief of police, if they wanted to say anything about their feelings on, we know that the 407 Charity Street, this is correction for those of you who don't know. 407 Charity Street is the old Hibernia Bank building, which is currently government office complex, parish government office complex. And the other one is the cultural center. The police jury has agreed to not donate, but to transfer title of both buildings to the city of Abbeville. That's the ordinance on the agenda. I would like to afford a few minutes to each agency to say why it's important to y'all, if you don't mind.
Sure.
State your name for the record, please, sir.
Blair Dorian, the chief deputy with the sheriff's office. So many of you know we have the criminal investigation division at the Hibernia Bank, which is on the second floor. We have our evidence stored there as well, which takes up a lot of space. But it is very convenient for the public. We have a triad meeting once a month there. We provide a meal for the elderly and location as well. It is convenient. It's downtown. People don't want to drive out to the jail to come for a meal or a meeting. So it's convenient for the elderly to come. But the other thing is, if the city takes over the property, then we do have inmate labor that we can use for, some maintenance, some painting, things of that sort. Now, major construction, we can't do in our license. That's at no cost to the public. So that is available to y'all. We can also use them to keep up the grounds, parking lot, the grass and stuff. So there is some advantages to having us there. They can help save the city some money, but it's close to the police department. We work closely with them when there's any major county incidents in the city. So it's convenient for that as well.
And so as part of the agreement, the sheriff's office would be allowed to stay on the second floor for 10 years. I think, correct, Councilman, this is y'all agreed to, as part of that. And if they did just recently acquire the property to build the new facility, but they have to work on the funding plan and the design. So if their building is built before 10 years, then they would vacate and we would nullify the agreement, but it's including 10 years of the sheriff's office staying. And as in exchange for that, to help non-burden the taxpayers, they're going to use trustee labor for, like he said, grounds maintenance, upkeep of the building in the areas that we can. And of course, continue to provide assistance to our Abbeville Police Department as well as the Marshal's Office. And I think that the more that these three agencies work together, the stronger our public safety becomes for the city and the parish. So thank you all for all the help that you give us.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And then I want the Marshal's Office. Would one of y'all like to see?
Chief Deputy Reggie Hills, I was volunteered to come and talk. I think that I'm gonna echo the words that that Chief Deputy Dory just said, that it is a great opportunity, not only for the City Marshal's Office, but the agencies all work very well together. We work well with the Sheriff's Office. We work well with the Police Department. All of us coming together, being housed together in one spot, even if it's going to be for a short period of time. I think it's great, and it's also going to provide a better opportunity for us to have, future development for city court personnel and also city court itself. City court in its current state is not the greatest, as far as safety and security, and every court day is almost filled to the back because there's just no place to put people. So I think this
Standing on the sidewalk.
there are people standing on the side. Sometimes we have to sound the docket outside,
Yeah.
I know, because I'm the one that go get them, tell them they calling you.
And one of the things I wanted you to speak on is we went, because y'all are already busting at the seams, y'all are looking for office space. So Jeremiah and Reggie did go walk the building and talk about the fact that, move-in ready and.
Yeah, the building itself, I know there's been a lot of talk about, what the building, the structure of the building and everything, but after seeing all the different engineers and their thoughts, and then also walking through the building itself, it is very structurally sound. There's a lot of the offices that are basically in pristine condition. You just got to throw some paint on the wall and move my desk in. I'm ready.
And we even speaking a little bit, so this is a longer discussion that unfortunately I won't be part of the project, but, speaking to what the judge talked about earlier with cells and holding areas, we even had that discussion while we were at that building,
Right.
whether or not there might be space to build some cells or some holding rooms that might help with some of the situation that we're going through right now. That would take a little more of a task force to work on that solution, but there's plenty of space there for that.
Absolutely.
Potential for creating that within that building.
Absolutely. And right now, as it stands, there's not really, when we have inmates that are there for court, we don't really have a, real secure area that we can actually hold them. We've had incidents, for some court proceedings where, the public got too close to the inmates and, it just created a whole big fiasco inside the courtroom. So being able to have that extra space for advancement, I'm all about advance and continue moving forward. And that building is going to be, even if it's for, even if it might be for a few years, it's going to be great to help advance not only our office, but also advance the security and safety of city court. So,
Yeah.
All those conversations we had, they were not in vain.
Yes, sir.
And we were working toward this day. So
Yes, sir.
you and Marshall,
Do you concur with what he said?
Yeah, I mean,
Jeremiah played the small song.
He made me come talk.
I mean,
Yeah.
which is I'm about to do. I'm not much of a speech person, but I've been doing it, working city court security for a long time. Structurally, it's good. Safety, not so well. I'm concerned about my judge all the time, even though he walks freely. I'm safe, yeah. That's not what we're doing. That's part of my job, is to make sure that he's good. That building gonna provide everything. I mean, I'm all about progression also. Progression is gonna lead us to a different place, mentally. We work well with the sheriff department, the police department, the chief. The marshal's motto is there when we need it. And so I just want to keep it going. That's all. I believe in visions. So I just want to go with it. You got anything, Judge?
I do. Judge has a halo over his head because when he walks, the smoke covers him.
That's what you say.
I'm gonna start walking in front of him and then I'll have two security guards with me whenever I exercise. Go ahead,
A
Bud.
halo from him.
I mean, I can't say it any better. You know, we started, Jay and I started, Jeremiah started way before me at City Court, but he and I started in our current positions 18 years ago.
Yes.
And 18 years ago, we were stuffed. 18 years later, we are, come take a walk. I mean, come sit in Jeremiah, spend a day in Jeremiah's office. I mean, that's all you need to do. Just
I
hang
went
out.
one day to see him.
Yeah, I mean, hang out all day. You won't because there's not enough room. And so we need it. We need it. And Madam Mayor, I'm gonna do the thing that I'm never supposed to do. I'm gonna ask you a question that I don't know the answer to. Can you think of a better deal that's available to the city or has been since you've been around?
Absolutely not.
And it's clear, right?
Correct.
Listen, you can say whatever you want about the structure of the building. I don't know it. I don't know. I mean, maybe if I knew how to do math, I'd be doing that instead of this. But I'm telling you that it's a beautiful building. It's from the outside, it's a beautiful building that makes the city look as good as it does. It's the other side of the courthouse. We got the church on one side of the square, then the courthouse, and then this building. And we'll be opening that up. And to me, it makes all the sense in the world. Listen, Bart and I in courtrooms all over the state. What we have at Abbeville City Court, when I say it's a rarity, I mean, it's one of a kind, okay? There's nobody who, and listen, I'm not worried about me, right? I'm out there. If somebody wants me, they're gonna get me. But as far as the way we conduct a courtroom day, there's nobody else who does it like, there's nobody else. I mean, it can't be done that way. Nobody would let it be done. Nobody would ask that it be done. And if the Supreme Court came down here and saw how we do it, they'd say, what are y'all doing?
Shut it down.
I'm not kidding.
I've been asking that question for 4 years. Not y'all, I mean,
Yeah,
just in
no,
general.
I know.
There's a lot of things I found.
Talk about how you don't even have 25 to 30% of the seating of your courtroom
We got
because
boxes.
of the boxes of
We
files.
got boxes taking the last few pews.
I will say I'm not gonna allow you to, well, it won't be my job anymore, but I wouldn't allow you to move those files without purging some documents.
No, we got personal documents, but again, we don't
Not
even.
buying a building for storage.
Well, and that's part of it. We got no place to put it to purge it. I mean, to go
Not
through.
buying, if we accept, we're not
Yeah.
accepting a building
Yeah.
for storage.
No, I understand, and we don't want to do it. What we do need is a way to conduct court, as the marshal says, in a safe manner, not for me, but for all the people who come in. I mean, everybody's connected, everybody knows somebody, it's a sad, it's not ideal. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
It served its purpose for a long time. It was probably still serving its purpose when I started. That's arguable. But in any event, this is a deal that I think we'd be making a tremendous mistake if we passed on.
Thank you for that.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mark.
Chief, do you have anything to say from your standpoint?
All these guys work with us hand in hand. I'm happy if there's room for them to help.
And Chief, what's that gonna do for expanding office space in your building if we do this?
Y'all allowed me to build that building in the back this year. I made room inside that big closet in the back. I'm gonna put some evidence in a big closet. So I'm in good shape now. I'm just glad to see that these guys will be able to stay. We all work hand in hand. We need each other and we'll continue doing a good job for the citizens of Vermillion Parish.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll do a roll call vote.
I want to talk about it.
But go ahead.
All right. I realize that this council is probably going to accept this building, but I do have some things to say about it. If it's so structurally sound and it's so great, and apparently someone's got everyone that's here tonight talking about how wonderful it would be to be in that building. I happen to know there's people in there that want out. And why would the police jury trying to give it away for 9 years and trying to get rid of it? Why? Because they don't want to spend $200,000 to demolish it, and they don't want to spend any money to refurbish it. Now, I realize that all the people using the cultural center are very, very happy that we're going to make this decision, and I'm happy for them. Of course, the police jury is the ones that's going to be thrilled. When we look at the price to repair that building. We talking about, and I had somebody come in here that was completely independent, not connected with anyone at all, and gave us a $1.7 million estimate to kind of start off. I find out that the bottom base of these columns, for example, they tried to build this building so cheap years and years ago, about 45 years ago, that it's rubber tires that are filled in with concrete. People saw that being built. But nevertheless, I think this is a money pit for the city. I don't think it's a good investment for the city. We have a building right here that's the strongest building in Vermilion Parish. People went to prison for this building, for the concrete. It's so solid. And then we're building LSU. That's where it came from. And all we'd have to do is $250,000, $300,000 to get an elevator finally and redo the top 2 floors. There you could put city court, you could put the marksman, you whatever. And we could do it at a much lesser cost. But I just think, and this is my opinion, but I think that this is a money pit. I don't think it's a good investment for the city. That building, there was a lawsuit in 1981 on that building for some problems constructionally. Then a lot of structural damage to it, a lot of work has been done to it. And it looks good, but it's one of these things, the way I see it is, you can't judge a book by its cover. And that's just my opinion. That's what I feel about it. So I have to give my opinion tonight before this road comes through. I'm going to vote no, because I don't think it's a good idea for our city. But nevertheless, best wishes to the future people that are going to be remodeling this building and putting it in the condition where it should really be. So that's all I have to say tonight, but I want to give my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you for your opinion, Councilman. I'm going to say a little something because it's something that I hope to say a couple months from now, but since I won't be here a couple months from now, I'm going to explain why it hasn't been my recommendation to move all these agencies into the upstairs of this building. Because one of our biggest needs to develop the economy, especially the economy in downtown Abbeville, is that this building that was built in 1929, cast concrete in place by the Caldwell brothers, was originally built to be a hotel. And it served as a hotel until 1961. And when it opened, there was so much fanfare that the governor himself came and gave a speech. It was the only rooftop garden between New Orleans and Houston. And in my opinion, and in my long-term vision, and in multiple public meetings that we have had that you refuse to attend, the public has overwhelmingly stated that they would like to see this building return to its original state, which is a boutique hotel in downtown Abbeville. And although I will no longer be the mayor, we have a pro forma that was done for free by professionals who do this for a living, who show a 20% return on investment with this building restored as a historic hotel. We hear all the time from merchants in our downtown that we need more parking, and that's why their businesses can't exist and can't make a living here in downtown Abbeville. Well, when we take the 30 cars out the parking lot that are government parked cars and return this to a hotel where people are staying here and leaving money in this economy, now we might actually have some space to move City Hall over there and return this back into commerce instead of government. And what we need in downtown and in Abbeville is more businesses that return revenue, not free services and government services that cost and don't add to the economy. And so the long-term vision for this building, I hope this council will continue, is to put out a request for interest and eventually return it to the hotel that should have always been. And I think it will stay filled. The documents that I will provide to this agency will show at a 60% occupancy, a 20% return on investment, and you will find developers who are interested in taking over that project and doing it. And when you do that, you have money to put in to the restoration of another hotel. So sometimes you can't see past your nose to see the longer boutique hotel that is part of this economy. And we have another structurally sound building that can provide government services within walking distance to the courthouse. And I think it solves a lot of problems that we've seen over the last 40 years here in Abbeville. So I wanted to get that out while I was still mayor. It is not me. I do not have a vote. But I wanted to explain to you why it was not my recommendation to move more government into this building, because I don't think that that's the purpose that this building was built for. And I don't think it's best and highest use of real estate. So that's what I have to say about that. Additional comments?
Yeah, as the insurance chair for the city, consolidation of departments in that building will save an enormous amount of insurance premium money. We have a courtroom that will not have to be insured for what it is now. We can surplus and sell it. I wish we would say the marshal had his own building and office, but he's operating in a closet, so we can't get anything for that. But it's just like what our sheriff is doing. It's time for a new facility for his department. And this is consolidation of several of our departments, and the insurance savings will be significant.
May I make a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Uh,
Stand and state your name for the record, Ms.
My
Kathy.
name is Kathleen Miller, and I live right next door to the government building. Well, that's my home, even though I live with my parents right now. Mr. Francis, how much did you say your expert said it would cost to start? Excuse me?
We had a report, 1.7 available to you.
1.7 million?
Completely ended.
As y'all know, my brother is an architect, and I work for him, and I have been working for him for 20 years. I think he's a grade A architect. He opened his business in 1992, and I would say that he's an expert on the subject. We do all the time renovations and repairs to old buildings, churches, schools, government buildings. In this construction economy, 1.7 million is nothing. It's costing us 7-point-something million to build the new EOC 911 call center. So that's not a lot of money. And any structural damage that is in that building can definitely be repaired. We do it all the time. We just did a huge structural repair on St. Charles Borromeo Catholic Church in Grand Coteau. So it's something we do all the time. It can be done. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but you can't hardly build anything in this market for under $2 million. I just want to make that.
You don't like the mayor, I'm telling you, and keep ready.
I hope it works out.
Let's keep order in the back of the room, please.
I hope it works out. I really do. For the benefit of everybody. I have to give my opinion. I talk to a lot of people all the time that have seen this thing built. And again, why do we want to get rid of it?
Well, so did I. I was living next door when they built it, and I've been living next door for many years. But I just want to make that point about money and that the damage can be repaired.
And I do want to correct the fact that the 1.7 million that he quoted was for the full renovations with the courtroom in it and everything else. Actually, the structural repairs and the water sealing of the scope of it was far less than that. I think it was somewhere around $300,000, $400,000. 1.7 is full renovations. That would be with the courtroom operating, with all the redecorating, everything else. And at the end of the day, 1.7 million, you end up with a 2 acres in the middle of downtown with a $6 million asset, and we end up with another $500,000 to $600,000 asset on the city books. And as we all know, that they don't make more property, right? And so that I just wanted to correct for the record, the 1.7 is not the initial repairs. That's the long-term renovation of the full facility.
May I?
Yes, sir.
All right, so,
And we're going to call the question in a minute because I know it's a long discussion.
all right, okay.
Go ahead.
Does anybody have a number? Let's start from the position that we are out of space. We're out of space. That cannot be debated. So then the next question is, how do we get more space? What's it going to cost to build that space right now? Anybody got a number?
$7 million.
$7 million.
I mean, it doesn't seem hard to me.
You realize the police jury is half responsible for that?
Is the police jury here? They're not. Listen, that's fine. Let them tear it down. But we are losing an opportunity to get something for almost nothing. I'm sorry? I want to make sure, I hear you, but I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is not, this is This is a good idea, and I don't understand why we're talking about it like it's not. It is a good idea. It's a golden opportunity. It's a gift in a lot of ways. It will be expensive. It will not be. If I went out and built a courtroom in my backyard right now, it would cost more than $1.7. Who's coming up my backyard? You want to jam up the streets with traffic and cars? Put a city court up here. Put a city court up here and watch the stagnation of the street. It's going to shut it down. Practically shut it down over there where we got a parking lot, and here we'd have parking. Anyway, that's it. I quit. Thank y'all.
I forgot what he just said made me so happy. I got the police songs, but anyway, yes, Mr. Jean.
I just have one quick comment.
Yeah.
After 60 years of servicing Abbeville, the main parish, the worst thing you could do is tear down that beautiful building and have an empty grass field in the middle of town.
That's where our homeless should go.
And that is the beautiful building. And it's storm proof. 2 hurricanes came through here and that building's still standing. So structurally sound building, you don't want to tear it down. And it's a beautiful building. So I respect your opinion, but that would be the worst thing they could do, to tear it down.
And I will say, although it should be equally the police jury's responsibility, there's a lot of things that responsibility falls on other people, right? But when those people fail to do that, I'm not the type of person that just passes the buck. I'm the type of person that tries to attack and fix the problem, and this fixes the problem. And I'd rather for the city to have control and maintain that building in a way that's respectful and uplifts this city than to see it torn down or to see it remain in the condition that it's in right now. You cannot imagine what pressure washing that building is going to do for it. And the fact that it hasn't just been pressure washed is criminal. But, we will pressure wash it. Well, I would hope this council would pressure wash it the first week they have it with the help of the trustees for as much of that as they could do, right? I just think that while I respect everyone's opinions and everybody is entitled to their opinions and their feelings, I think it's a good deal for the city. I think it's a great thing for public safety. I think it's absolutely something we can accomplish. And we'll see where the council goes from there. And I'm going to do a roll call vote, and I'm going to start from my right side. Councilman Tony Hardy.
Yes.
Councilman Plaisance.
No.
Councilman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilwoman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilman Carlton Campbell.
Yes, but may I say a few words?
Yes, sir.
The government gives out millions of dollars, but you just gotta ask for it. Grant. If you want to get a grant to refurbish that building, the money is there. Somebody just has to write. I mean, they throw around millions like it's nothing. So I'm sure we can get some money to refurbish that building. My answer is yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let the record reflect that we have 4 yeses and 1 nay, and the motion carries. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay, all business, none, engineers.
I don't have it.
Kim? Attorney Bart? Public Works, Chris?
Thank you, Marshall.
Thank
He's
you.
waving his hand on there.
Good job speaking.
He's waving.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Parks and Rec? I might have, let me see if I have anything. Parks and Rec. Fire and Dozier. Will you read that for me?
Our Parks Department, tonight is the second night of the QSA APRD end of the season baseball and softball tournament. We invite all the public, the mayor and council, to come out and hand awards on Wednesday, May 20th for the Wee Ball division and Thursday, May 21st for the T-ball, 8 under baseball and 10 under softball divisions. Please get with Byron or Kristen to let us know if you would like to attend. Wednesday and Thursday will be at the fields around 6:30 to help present awards following the 6 p.m. games. American Legion Post 29ers are holding tryouts this week through Thursday. They will begin playing the first week of June through the first week of July for their season. League All-Stars will begin next week. We will be attending the district meeting for Pony Baseball on June 8th in Rain, where we will get all the information for the upcoming All-Stars season. And if you need something to do after this meeting, they're playing in the park right now.
Okay, that's it for Parks and Rec. Mayor, I'm sure some of you are here to see if I address the election, and I will tell you this, I know everybody's waiting for a public statement from me, but my heart is not ready to give it. So. I do want to congratulate all the candidates who did win their races. I think we're going to have a really good council. I know that we have 2 that are still in runoff, so I want to tell you all good luck. I would hope that the mayor-elect eventually comes to one of these meetings and attends so that we can bring her up to speed on what's going on. And I will, once I figure out a plan of how to transition the government, I will be inviting her to the office so that we can make sure. You have asked me often, what's my plan after this? I'm not worried about me right now. The only thing I'm worried about is the city and making sure the city continues in the right direction. So that's it. Chief.
Thank you, Mayor White. I'd like to thank the public for a vote of appreciation and voting me to my 5th term as chief of police. Thank you.
Fire Chief Doris.
We can take a look.
Wednesday, we met with a team of engineers with the DOTD at the bypass bridge to move forward with the a bridge operation notification system between DOTD and the fire department. They were able to gather up the information on what we were needing, and we were able to ensure them that this is, very low impact, on their part. Is it going to require anything from the operator? It's all going to be set up so that it's part of their normal bridge opening cycle without them, requiring anything else from us. I'll be back with you guys once we have something together for that, to move forward with the concerns that the bridges do cause us. Again, the Louisiana doesn't have anything like this set up anywhere in any of the communities that have movable bridges. So who knows, maybe it'll be a pilot program for the DOTD to spread to the other communities that are in the same situation as Abbeville is with emergency response and drawbridges.
Chief, there's no news on the test yet, right? Like on results?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me. Oh, you got something, Councilman? Did you say, Chief?
Now that we've accepted the bill, I'd like to make a recommendation. Councilman Broussard and I met in this very room, you remember, with Clay Higgins. And the idea that we had at that time was to try to get the Veterans Administration up here in this building. Well, just a suggestion that now that we have the building, we might think about putting the Veterans Administration in there and going out to the federal government through Clay Higgins for a major grant. And I think that could be possible.
Should have done that a long time ago.
Gave my opinion, I give a suggestion, so I have enough for tonight.
Which building are you talking about, Councilman?
The new one on Saturday.
Actually, the VA is already operating out of there. They still have an office in there. So I don't think the current, that would be up to this council, but I don't think at this time you would want to evict them, which is what the police jury was going to do. So currently they are taking up 2 offices in that building, and I'm sure that y'all can discuss that at a future meeting, but I would imagine that y'all would want to work out some kind of deal to allow them to remain there. Okay. Anything else for the fire chief? No? We're gonna go on to council members. Councilman Hardy.
First off, Mayor, I want to congratulate everyone that won their election. I want to wish the ones that are still in elections good luck. Mayor, I know you're gonna be fine. I'm sure gonna be fine.
Vacation plans yet?
I got all the faith in you. I know you're gonna be fine, so.
I will.
Just keep your head up, keep trucking along.
Yeah.
And, good luck to everybody.
Thanks for your time serving.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Councilman, for your service. It's been an honor working alongside you. Easiest council person I think I've ever worked with. No offense to the rest of y'all. Easiest council person I ever worked with. All right, Councilman Claiborne?
I just thought I said what I had to say. But, Mayor, you the reason why that budget was okay tonight. I want to congratulate you for that. You've done a lot of good things for the city and you're going to be asked to say. And everybody move forward. So,
Hey. Keep it down and back. All right, Councilman Broussard.
Join us Monday, Memorial Day, 10 a.m. at the War Memorial for a ceremony. Let's recognize the people who give us exactly right there on the screen. So join us if you can. It'll be a beautiful ceremony and a newly refurbished War Memorial. So I think you'll find it beautiful. Also, put on your calendar, May 30th, we'll have the Daylily Festival in Magdalen Square. Buy any kind of plant you can ever think of or dream of. Got vendors from one end to the other, and that's a great day in Abbeville for that. So I hope I see you at both those events. Thank you. Oh, the Rotary banners. If you see those, please visit downtown and see the Rotary and military people on those. Charles? Right?
Yeah, we're having the rollout and launch tomorrow, Thursday evening, I mentioned.
Yes, if you'd like to come, we're gonna officially roll that out Thursday evening, 5 to 7 at the American Legion building.
Program is started at 6.
6 o'clock?
Yeah, 5 to 7.
Sorry.
Program is started at 6.
I think we have 11 more to put up. Put up 50-something in a day, but we ran out of polls. So.
Good.
Supposed to be in Friday, and we'll start early again as soon as we get the polls done.
If you're driving around looking for your banner, please do so cautiously. I suggest just getting out your car and walking because we've made it so nice to walk downtown. You should be able to walk and find your banner that you paid for.
It so happened, Mr. Charles, that's the best spot.
Oh, yeah? I don't know.
Drive in.
I don't know. I didn't know where they were being put, but I was standing at the square last week and I looked up and I saw my grandfather on the corner and it made me very happy, so.
And actually, Mr. Campbell, Councilman Campbell, he got a good draw also. By luck now, by luck.
Yeah, we didn't know where they were. They just came out randomly, so.
Randomly, yes.
Yeah. Okay, Councilwoman Broussard.
Middle of the block.
It's been an honor. And when your legacy and your life story is written, you will be above one of the best mayors that the city of Abbeville has had. You'll become family. A sister will always remember you, even when we had to buckle down. I'm going to miss you, and I truly wish that we could rewrite this story, but we can't. I've reached out to Miss Anita, who I've known most of my adult life, and I've congratulated her, and I'm ready to work with her. And I hope this is not the end for you and I as far as our bond. I'm going to miss you and your love for the city of Abbeville and all the great things that you did and the great things that you have planned. And one day people will come to realize that.
Councilman Campbell, you're gonna choke me up today.
Don't forget, we got 2 more meetings.
Next time somebody bring Kleenex, please.
Contrary to, what's been said, I didn't lose. I might be skating on thin ice, but I heard several times, you lost, but I didn't. And I'm gonna be out there fighting to keep my, council at large seat. And, if I don't make it, but I'm not gonna say that's negativity. But, anyway, I enjoyed working with, Councilman Hardy, and, that's about it. Hey, we only have one mayor. I said Councilman Hardy. I didn't get to the mayor. I don't know what was outburst about, but of course, I had a great time. Well, I had a great time working with you, and I contacted, Ms. Levy and said, good luck, and if I'm lucky, I'll work with you. I've been in this for 60 years, believe it or not. I think the only person older than me is Miss Sally right there. Yeah. And, well, I've heard out that, oh, he's too old. Well, that's just,
That's all right, I heard I was too young.
yeah. Yeah, that's just opinions. Now, on a, note that I hate to say it, it's gonna take a little attention, I think, off of what we're doing. But the Lafayette Street Park, our park, Kiwanis Park, the wastewater treatment plant is next to it. And there's a coulee or canal, a concrete lined canal next to it. Well.
Young schooling, by the way.
Yeah, young schooling?
Yeah.
The school kids are finding a way to get under that fence and get in that water. And the water was pretty high the last time I passed, and they was crawling through the fence. So I was hoping that you could find a way to close that hole to keep the kids out of there, because eventually one of those kids are gonna drown in there. And it's hard, the angle is so steep, it's hard to get down, and it's much harder to get up. So that's, the only thing that I have, and I'm finished.
Well, now that I don't have to worry about getting reelected or not, if it was up to me, we would remove the fence, put a little walking path, and make that just a little biking and walking path along the young schoolie. So,
That
you know,
may be a good suggestion.
that's different visions from different people, but you know.
And I'm finished.
That's it.